Hi everyone, thank you for coming back to my channel. I'm Stephanie if you're new here. So it is the morning of my son's wedding and I'm going to do a little introduction to the cake that I'm going to be making. So I'm going to share everything that I have to work with to get the cake going. I did have some problems yesterday with the frosting. It is what time? Almost 11 o'clock, and I got the cake done around 9:30 this morning. I almost thought that I wasn't able to get it frosted. It just wasn't working. I had Lauren have to, go run and get me some more stuff to make more frosting. I finally got it done, so I will share all of that with you. I'll do more at the wedding too. So I am heading out right now to go to the wedding. And I'm possibly bringing the cake to my sister-in-law's house because the cake, there's not a place for me to put the cake at the venue yet. I could bring it there, but I don't know if it's gonna hold up the whole entire time until we eat and stuff. So I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do with that, but it is in the fridge right now. And I'm just gonna share, us frosting it, us putting it together, putting the flowers on, and that's about it. So I will leave the recipe for the cake in the description, and you guys can try it out sometime if you ever need to make just a regular birthday cake, but you can add all the extra stuff to it to make it look good and make it taste good. So I will leave all of that down below and you guys can check it out. So we're gonna get started here. I'm gonna show you the rest of the clips for the video of me making my son's wedding cake.
One of the requests for this wedding cake from my son was for me to make a funfetti cake. So that is what we're going to be making for the wedding cake. I am going to be using about 5 boxes to make a 3-tier wedding cake. Each layer is going to have 3 sections to the layers, to the tiers, and that is what we're going to be doing. So I have this really great recipe that I've been using for birthday cakes and wedding cakes, and I find that using this recipe holds its shape better, and I'm able to stack a lot of the cakes using this recipe. So for this recipe, for this cake, I do 1 cup of flour, 1 cup of sugar, 1 1/3 cup of water, tablespoon of vanilla, and I use a little bit of salt. I forget what the measurement is for the salt, but I will leave the recipe down below. I also use 4 egg whites, and if you use just regular eggs, you're gonna wanna use like 3 eggs, but that's not the recipe for this wedding cake, this box wedding cake it's called. So we're just gonna go with that. If I were to use my farm fresh eggs, I would be turning this cake into a vibrant yellow cake, and that is not what they want for this wedding cake. All right, so I had to be really careful starting this just because I accidentally overflowed it and then I quick wiped it up, but you gotta go slow when you first started out. So I ended up just mixing this up. I need to get a bigger mixer. I just don't have a big enough one to do what I've been doing lately with these cakes, but overall it works out for right now, and this is just what we're going to be using. Okay, so one thing that I usually do is I buy the baking spray. I didn't have it on hand, so I'm going to be just using what I have, and I just using regular cooking spray and just putting a little bit of flour on my pans. Sometimes with my mixer, it doesn't always get to the bottom of my little bowl here, so I like to just go in quick and mix it up so I can make sure that everything is mixed together. So I preheat my oven, and I usually can get about 4 or 5 cakes in my oven, and I just let it cook a little bit longer than what the box says on the back. just because I do really thick layers with my cakes and I want to make sure that they are cooked all the way through. Just wondering if you guys have noticed my apron. I got this on my Temu haul and I've been wearing it in some of my videos and I love it. I have a couple different aprons that I have on hand. I have one that I made and one that my mom gave me. I have one that my sister made. I think I even have one that Lauren got me. But I don't wear aprons enough and I think I should start wearing them more often. All right, so I think that's my last set of cakes that I need to put in the oven. The next is just piecing my cakes together. I let them cool for a little bit and I put them in the fridge, and now I'm ready to stack my cakes. Okay, so the problem that I was having with the frosting, if you remember in the beginning of the video, I noted that I was having a lot of problems with the frosting. If you're just gonna frost a cake and just gonna have a normal birthday cake, using the tubs from Walmart or any store is gonna be just fine using it that way. But I want my frosting to set a little bit, so using this whipped frosting from Walmart did not work for what I needed it to. So I ended up having a really hard time connecting the buttercream and or like doing a crumb coat with the buttercream on the side because of this whipped frosting. So what I ended up doing is I went back, I scraped it all off, and I went in with just buttercream. So for this first layer, I did put that whipped frosting on it, but like I said later, I went and I just scraped it all off just because it wasn't working. But right now I was just doing the crumb coat just so I can get them layers done. Okay, so if you guys remember in some of my other videos when I talked about using my cake belts for my cakes, and what it did is it just levels out each cake layer, but I only have 4 cake belts. So what I've been doing lately is just using my cake cutter, and that works out just fine. So if you guys are interested in any of the baking stuff that I'm using today, I will leave it on my Amazon storefront. I'll make sure that I have everything on there. So what I ended up doing here is I kind of messed up just a little bit. I like to have the cut layer of the cake, like the exposed part, in the middle, and then have the nice layer on top for the smooth side. Right here is where I completely messed up this cake in this frosting area of what my major problem was. Is I tried making my own whipped frosting just because I didn't have enough. So I mixed up some heavy whipping cream and some powdered sugar. And you know, it tasted good. It was fine if you're just gonna do like a rough frosting, but it did not work for what I needed for this wedding cake. It was too soft. It wasn't like buttercream at all. It's a really good recipe for just like a smooth, nice tasting frosting, but that's not what I was going for with this cake. So I ended up just making buttercream. The only thing that happened is it was a little on the yellow side because I didn't have anything to whiten up the buttercream. But the cake turned out great anyways, and it just added more of it like an antique look to this wedding cake. All right, so I'm working on the last layer. What I ended up doing is just putting all of the layers into the refrigerator. I let them set just for a little while to firm everything up, and then I like to go back and do a smooth finish to each layer of the cake. So what I like to do, and what I've learned so far with making cakes and making it smooth, I like to warm up my smoother under the water and then just kind of wiping it a little bit, and it helps smooth everything out. This is where if I had another turntable, it would work out a lot nicer, but I left the other one somewhere else, and I just need to get another one. All right, so when I transfer my cakes, I have a piece of cardboard underneath my cakes. I also have dowels in there and stuff to hold the like overall structure of the cake. So I have all that in there already. Okay, so now it's time for flowers. I asked Gage to help me with the placement of flowers because sometimes I don't have a good vision when it comes to stuff like that. So I went on Pinterest, I showed him a couple different ideas on what I was thinking, and Gage was able to help me build up the flowers and get it to where it needed to be. So we used the flowers that my daughter-in-law got off of Amazon, and these were the flowers that she put together for her bouquet and for the girls' flowers at the wedding. Now, she gave me a whole selection to work with and greens and different things. She really didn't care or really didn't say like how she wanted it done, so we kind of just went with it. And we found a really nice flower placement on, I think it was even on YouTube, that I ended up going to, and I think it turned out great and everybody loved it. So overall, I'm pretty happy with it, but this is like crunch time before the wedding was gonna happen. And like I said in the beginning of the video, we were just heading out and I was just finishing up the cake. So if you see the kids running around in the background, they are just going back and forth trying to get their outfits ready for the wedding, getting dressed, and we are almost done, and we are going to be just heading out just in time to get to the wedding.
All right, so hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. I'm gonna skip forward a little bit in this video just to end the video. Hopefully you enjoyed how the cake turned out. I will take you along for the wedding. We are gonna head out right now, and I will do a bunch of stuff when it comes to the videoing. I did do a little bit of the reception last night. I will add that in to, I'm either gonna have one video for just a reception, or I'm going to just include it into the wedding video. I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do, but hopefully you guys enjoyed how the cake turned out. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys think it turned out good. So all right, so hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.